So I had to make this video because my client Marcus, that's not his real name, but let's call him Marcus. He came into my program with some of the biggest challenges for weight loss. And I've been doing this 13 years. He had extreme emotional eating. He had extreme lack of confidence in his ability to actually lose weight. He had never been able to stick to a diet for longer than 3 weeks. He was afraid to go to the gym. And not only did he overcome all of these things in 6 weeks, but he lost 20 pounds in the process. So I wanted to make him a case study because if Marcus can do this, trust me, you can too. And I'm going to outline in detail, I've never done a video like this, in detail, his exact plan, everything we did to help him overcome those barriers and allowed him to lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks. Now, let's be very clear. Marcus was a big dude, right? He was damn near 300 pounds. So losing 20 pounds, yes, it sounds like a lot. It is a lot, but take it all in context. So let me give you some background on Marcus. So Marcus is 40 years old. He's 6'3". He started off at 295 pounds. Like I mentioned, he dealt with emotional eating. He tried every diet under the sun. You know the story. We all have similar stories. He has a very stressful career. He's in software sales. He has 2 kids and a wife. His wife stresses him out, but that's another conversation. I told him he needs to get rid of her. No, I'm just kidding, kind of. You can copy this, but only copy the specifics if you are the same size, height, age, etc., right? Otherwise, you need to adapt some of the things if you're going to copy the exact plan. All right. So the first thing that Marcus reported back to me was he was surprised at how much food I had him eating. Just like a lot of people, every time he went on a diet, he would eat 1,500 calories. It would be these little meals, and he would try to eat 5 meals a day. My man Marcus ate 2 meals a day, and I gave him so much food. He was stuffed every time he ate. And that's the first thing that blew his mind. He's like, yo, I'm losing weight and I'm always full. I'm like, yeah, bro, this is how it works when you're eating clean, when you're eating the right type of food and you're getting enough protein, you're getting enough fiber, you're getting enough sleep. That's what happens when you eat properly. You don't have to starve yourself. Now, here are his macros. I had him eating 2,450 calories, 220 grams of protein, 240 grams of carbs, 75 grams of fat. We kept these macros for the entire duration of the 6 weeks, and he dropped weight constantly. All right. He ate 2 meals a day. He treated himself to a cookie or a Pop-Tart. Actually, it was 2 cookies because he was eating the Chips Ahoy joints. 2 Chips Ahoy cookies or a Pop-Tart every single day. We made it fit into his macros because that was important to him. And I know for sustainability, having a treat every day helps. So yes, you can eat a Pop-Tart. You can eat a cookie. Notice I'm saying a, not a box, and still lose weight. All right. We tracked with MyFitnessPal. You can use any tracking app, but notice he only was compliant 70% of the time. And that was another one of the reflections, right? At our 6-week check-in, he was like, yo, I didn't realize I can have these sort of results and not be perfect. Yeah, that's how it works, right? So these were the numbers that changed everything for him. Now, let's talk about what Marcus actually ate. We centered his entire nutrition plan on his protein sources. So his protein sources were ground turkey, ground chicken. He ate a lot of ground turkey and chicken. He ate chicken thighs. My man hated chicken breasts. He ate a lot of eggs and egg whites, Greek yogurt. He had a protein shake every single day, and he added cottage cheese to his eggs. So that was his protein base. Now, we stuck to the simple carbs. We stuck to the carbs that did not spike his insulin too bad. So we ate sweet potatoes, jasmine rice. We had oatmeal, but not the instant oatmeal. We had the old-fashioned oatmeal. They have 2 very different impacts on your blood sugar, so just know that. He had an avocado every day, and peanut butter and olive oil was another source of his healthy fats. So as you can see on the slide is a sample day: 4 eggs with oatmeal in the morning, ground turkey, rice and salad with his Chips Ahoy cookie. And then for dinner, he had chicken thighs, sweet potatoes, and Greek yogurt with berries. Now, let's talk about the 6 weeks of exercise. So the first 2 weeks, we started off slow. I'm a big believer in not trying to do too much cardio in the beginning, trying not to do too much. You want to ramp it up, right? You want to give your body a chance to get strong, adapt, and then increase the intensity or the workload. So the first 2 weeks we did 3 full body workouts and then 2 cardio days. He was just doing his weights. So it was a 45-minute workout. And on cardio days, which were Wednesdays and Fridays, he did 20 minutes on the cardio machine and he did 10 minutes of stretching, 30 minutes. That's it. So he was never in the gym more than 45 minutes. So it doesn't take 2 hours. That wasn't realistic for him. And I designed it in a way that was realistic, right? So week 3 through 4, all we did was we added 10-minute hit finishers after his full body training days. And I'm going to get into the details of what the full body training days were like. But that's all we did. He had to do 50 burpees at the end of each of his full body workout days. And he still did his 2 cardio days with the stretching. And that was it. Week 5 and 6, I added a 10,000 step quota. So he had to get 10,000 steps a day. And I added an additional 20 minutes of cardio after his workout. So we took out the hit finisher and then we added in 20 minutes of cardio. So we ramped up his cardio. We ramped up the intensity of his workouts as the 6 weeks progressed. Now, this is intense. Now, he had a goal. Let me be very clear with you guys. He had a goal. He wanted to lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks. It was a personal thing. I tried to talk him out of it. He was like, listen, Brix, this is what I want. I said, okay, we're going to do it. So that's why I designed his program in that way. And if you want to achieve similar results, you could do it the same way. Now, Marcus insisted on getting in the sauna 20 minutes a day. Now, whether this contributed to why he was able to lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks, that's up for debate. It was water weight. I was against it. I thought he was doing too much. But he said it helped him with his stress. And that's how he convinced me that it was okay. So I said, all right, bro, if it's helping you with the stress, boom, let's do it. So he also did 20 minutes in the sauna 3 days a week. So here was his workout framework. Now, we did 3 full body workouts per week. There was 2 push movements, example, a barbell bench press and a dumbbell incline press, push meaning for the chest. We did 2 pull movements, the bent over the lat pull downs. Pull movements are for the back. We did a hinge and an overhead movement. So a Romanian deadlift, you could do a traditional standard deadlift and a shoulder press, right? Dumbbell shoulder press or barbell shoulder press. And then we had 2 exercises for legs. And this was the framework that we followed for his full body workouts. 2 exercises from each of these categories. And I gave him various exercises to choose from. And I only had him doing the exercises that he liked. So he picked the ones he wanted from the list. Now, week 3 through 6, week 3 and 4, when we added the hit finisher, it was mostly sprints on the treadmill, incline sprints, or he had to do 50 burpees. He usually did 5 sets of 10 on the burpees. We had strategic indulgences because he did have some setbacks in the journey. He did have a few moments where he would binge in certain situations, and it was an opportunity to teach him some things about himself that I think ultimately is going to make this weight loss sustainable for him. I gave him once a week for a weekly indulgence. I don't like the term cheat meal. I like the term refeed, right? A refeed meal because it's good for your body. It restores your leptin levels, which is a fat burning hormone that goes down when you're in a calorie deficit and you're going real hard in the gym. So he had 1 refeed meal each week, but I only allowed him to have that refeed meal on a day where he had an intense workout. It says the leg day rule. That's what I call it, the leg day rule, but we were doing full body workouts. But we made sure that his most intense workout was on the day where he had his refeed meal. And I helped him shift his mindset around this cheat meal, right? If you are on a weight loss journey and you enjoy having these indulgent meals, you can use that meal strategically as fuel for a heavy lifting day. You just got to shift your attitude about it and make sure that you're not incorporating this indulgence with having a lazy day. Never, ever, ever have an indulgence meal, a cheat meal, whatever you want to call it, on a day where you're not training because it will set you back. All right, now let's talk about the accountability system because none of this works if I can't get him to stick to the plan. So every single day, now, mind you, I had Marcus tracking everything he ate. We used MyFitnessPal, and every single evening, he had to screenshot his MyFitnessPal and email it to me. That was his accountability. That was one layer of his accountability. We also had weekly calls where we reflected on the week. What happened? What went wrong? What went right? What'd you do well? What'd you not do so good with? And we strategized the week going forward based on the results from the previous week, right? Which was a huge part in making sure that we are able to correct things or get around potential roadblocks through communicating. He communicated honestly with me the things that he struggled with. So, which leads to some of the things that went wrong. He had a few binges. It was a moment in the office where he had a potluck and he went through a half a cake in the break room on a low. And then he was dealing with all sorts of guilt and shame. And I had him journaling about this stuff, right? He read the journal entry. He shared the journal entry with me. I was able to help him with that because this stuff's going to happen. And if you're being honest with yourself, when you found yourself in similar situations, right? When you've indulged, you're on a diet or you're on a weight loss journey and you found yourself doing some shit you shouldn't have done, eating some things that you shouldn't have eaten. Normally what stops you is not the meal. Normally what stops you is that voice in your head, that guilt, that shame you feel because you made this choice that does not align with your goals. Now, all I had to do is to remind him like, yo, bro, this shit is going to happen. You're not going to be perfect. There are going to be moments when you find yourself falling off the deep end with this. And all you have to do is forgive yourself. Simple as that sounds, that is the key to get past these moments. Forgive yourself. All right, you know what? I made a choice that didn't align with my goals. It's all right. I got to be patient with myself. I got to honor where I am. And I have to just get back to it. That's it. I was able to talk him off the ledge because there were so many times in this journey where he messed up and he's like, Brix, yo, I keep doing this shit. Maybe I don't deserve to lose weight. Maybe I'm stuck in this body. Literally, he would articulate this stuff to me. And I'm like, no, Marcus, that's not what's happening here. You're human. We got to leave room for your humanness. Do this breathing exercise. I would do the breathing exercise with him right there over Zoom. I would have him calm himself down and I would have him recommit to the journey. And that is how we kept it going every single time, right? 4-7-8 breathing. I taught him the 4-7-8 breathing, which is a technique that I teach my clients when they're experiencing big cravings or they're experiencing big emotions or they're stressed out and they notice that they want to overindulge in some food that takes them off the path of their journey. Stop, you pause, you breathe, and you observe the craving and you practice allowing the craving to pass. It does take practice, but he got really, really good at that, which I think is part of the reason why he was able to have the success that he had in 6 weeks, right? Another thing that I taught Marcus is how to build self-awareness through journaling. He was so adamant. Now, I want to give Marcus his flowers. My bro definitely stuck to the plan. I asked him to journal 4 times a week. He journaled 4 times a week. I asked, and here are some examples. You know, I pulled some things from his journal entries. This is just designed to give you some insight on what it would look like, what sort of things you would write in your journal in order to develop self-awareness. Self-awareness is absolutely mandatory if you want to change your behaviors. If you want to transform in any way, you have to understand what's going on with you mentally, emotionally. You have to understand the connection between your stress, your thoughts, your emotions, and the way you eat. You have to understand that stuff. Best way to learn is through journaling, through some form of structured self-reflection. It's absolutely vital. All right, so in review, this is what Marcus learned, right? He lost 20 pounds. He went from 295 to 275 in 6 weeks. He ate so much food. He ate way more food than he thought he could. He was able to have snacks every single day. He built self-awareness through journaling. He showed up for his daily check-ins. He sent me his screenshots every single day. One of the biggest lessons he said he learned, he thought he needed to be perfect. He didn't need to be perfect. He needed to be compliant at least 70% of the time. And with 70% compliance, which is kind of on the low end, he still was able to get great results in 6 weeks. If you are ready to start, you can copy this exact plan. If you are the same height, weight, age, if not, figure out what your numbers are, eat the same type of foods, do the same sort of journaling, find someone to be your accountability partner so that you can send them the screenshots every day, or some sort of check-in system. If you need support, if you want to hire a coach, if you want me to help you lose, it may not be 20 pounds in 6 weeks, but whatever it may be for you, then click the link in the description and sign up for a discovery call. And please, respectfully, man to man, or if you're a woman, because I also train women, I'm not cheap. So if you know you're not ready to invest, don't sign up for a call, right? I'm here to serve people. I'm here to help people. And I'm also here to run a business. So please, let's not do that, all right? I trust you. We're all adults here. If you don't plan to show up, that slot could have been used by someone who would have actually shown up, all right? So much love. Hopefully this was helpful. I think if this video does well, I'm gonna do some more of these client testimonial videos because I have a lot of clients who are absolutely killing it. Shout out to my Shine Group Coaching Program clients. Shout out to The Circle, which is my online accountability group. The link for both of those programs are down below. Shout out to my one-on-one coaching clients. You guys know who you are. And as always, remember the body that you want is owned by a higher version of yourself. So evolve. Peace.